Hello everyone, Christina Werner here. Welcome to another live stream here at my YouTube channel. Tonight we are going to be playing with the brand new Artistry by Altenew tube watercolors. And for those of you who are joining me live, you're the first ones that are in on this little bit of knowledge. But Altenew actually sent me 2 sets. Ta-da! I don't know if they meant to, but I'm going to be passing on one of these sets to one of you. So it's the set of the fine watercolor brushes, and then they're brand new tubes of watercolor. And there are 10 colors. We're going to be setting up a palette tonight, swatching them, doing a little bit of painting, just kind of getting the feel for them. And I thought it would be interesting to show you how I set up a palette and some other options you have for using tube watercolors. As you all know, I love my Mission Gold watercolor set, and that does come as, those come as tubes when you buy them. Whatever version you buy, they're all tubes. So this is the same kind of, I guess, like method that I use for all of those. Okay, so first of all, when you have liquid watercolors, or not liquid, these aren't liquid, these are just tubes. When you have tube watercolors, let me see if I can get one of these open. And I'm gonna have to use a little craft pick to open it because your nails are jewels, not tools, right? Okay, so they come in a little tube like this. Ta-da! This is the color, what color is this? Oh, turn it over, Christina. Dark cyan, right? So tube watercolors come like this, and you can use them straight from the tube. You can squeeze just a little tiny bit out onto a palette and go to town. I prefer to squeeze them out onto a palette or into a pan, let it dry, and then come back and re-wet it with a wet brush and then go from there. That's how I prefer to use watercolors that come in a tube. I find that well, you'll see tonight, but sometimes if you're using the paint straight from the tube, it's very, very intense and vibrant, and it's hard to get those very, very light colors just because the color is so intense. It's hard to, whatever. So it's just preference. So I'm going to try these out tonight while they're more moist. They're not going to be dried out yet because obviously we're not going to sit here and watch paint dry. That would be really boring. So usually I let these paints, or any paints I buy, they'll dry overnight or even a few days in order to get to the point where they're hard enough that you're going to have to use a damp brush to pick up the color. All right, so let's open all these up, and then we're going to set up a palette. So I've got a couple options, and in fact, we might be able to do both because these tubes of watercolor has a lot of paint in them, and they'll go a long way. Hello. Can you open? Come on. There we go. So you have a couple options. The first one is you can get like empty half pans, and then you can put them into a tin. Like Altenew has a tin. Let me see if I can find the one. You can get one of their tins. I forgot to link to this below, but I'll add it after the live's done. But here's the Altenew set without the pans. It does not come with pans, so you're going to have to buy some empty pans. I've got those linked down below. I just got these at Amazon. It was like $8 for 50 of them, right? So you can like make your own pans of color, or what I actually prefer to do is get an empty palette. So this is one by Magello. It's linked below. I've never tried out this palette, so I thought I would go ahead and give it a try with this watercolor set. I like mine to be dry before I put them away, so I will always just let this dry before I actually, put it away anyway, so that doesn't matter. But it's got a nice like seal on it. But there are, let's see, 18 wells, so there's lots of spaces to put our watercolors in. So we're going to set up, we're going to put the paints in that pink palette that I just showed you. And then if there's some left over, maybe I'll do some pans. But I like to have the palette all set up. And you want to squeeze from the bottom of the tube. So I'm just going to squeeze. This is a nice lemon yellow. Okay, I'm going to put in about that much. And it will shrink as it dries too. There's plenty of paint in here. I'm gonna go ahead and make some pans while I'm doing this. All right, so I'm holding the tube from the bottom and I'm just starting at one end and just squeezing to fill the pan. I've got to move my fingers now. There's plenty of paint in each one of these tubes. That looks neon on screen. It is a very bright lemon yellow, and it is settling down like it's, I wish I could tip it, but it's wet. It's settling, and it's like a really, really nice color. Alrighty. Okay, so here are our colors. You know, I probably should have made my swatch chart before I did all this, but that's okay. We're gonna take some measurements and we're gonna make a swatch chart that will fit inside the palette, and it's going to have all the different little, it's gonna be laid out just like this so I can see it really easily. In fact, maybe I'll make it so it fits right here, right inside. All right, here's our lovely little swatch here. All right, should we paint something? I want to do it anyway. This was the Hocus Pocus stamp set from the Greeting Farm that was out last year, I think. Or was it last year? I think it was. Just fun Halloween images. Alta News A2 like pre-cut set of watercolor paper. It says on it that it's cold pressed, but it's almost seemed more hot pressed to me. It's much more smooth, but yeah. Give that a good press. That's pretty good. I think we might be able to go with just one pressing. Oh my word. Oh, my stamp chamois smells. I need to like put it through the dishwasher or something, which I think you can do. I texted Jennifer, my friend Jennifer McGuire yesterday, and I said, I need a new stamp chamois from Lawn Fawn. Mine smells like, what was it? Wet gym socks that have been left in a teenage boy's gym bag for 3 weeks. That's how it smells. Gross. Okay. All right. Using regular white cardstock for my shadow study. Make sure this is dry. I mean, I just cleaned it. Okay. Yeah, someone in the chat, you let me know. Can you put your stamp chamois through the dishwasher or something? I mean, I use hand soap and wash it and stuff, but I mean, granted, it's looking pretty sad. And like, whenever I wring it out, like colors come out of it that I haven't used in 3 weeks. So I love that I've been able to use it for so long, but I just might need a new one. I think I've used the same one for like 1.5 years, maybe longer. Let's do some shadows on her. All right, so I've got my lovely pencil here. I'm gonna do some shading. Oh, Heather says, oh, and Tracy. Tracy says washing machine. Heather says dishwasher. Okay. Washing machine. Like with towels? I don't want to put it in by itself. Andrea says, I just put my chamois through the washing machine, rinse out as much ink as possible, and just put in with the towels. Perfect. I've never had it stain the other items in the wash. Perfect. Okay. All right. All right. So I'm going to have light coming from right here at a little bit of an angle. So that makes this area right here the darkest because it's like underneath her hat. And there would also be kind of like a line of the shadow from the hat. So that would be really dark too. And then there'd be some shadow from her hair, kind of coming like this. Okay. All right, we're gonna have a little bit of shadow from her head and then from her sleeves. Looks like there's gonna be a little bit of shadow like right at her bust line. And then the down below her dress. There's going to probably be a little shadow just right around her face. Okay. I think there'd be a little bit of shadow like right on the edge of things. But like for the most part, there's not much shadow because the light's coming in from the top. But there would be shadow underneath. And it probably would have just a little bit of shading just right at that tip and also right underneath here. But for the most part, a lot of light is going to be hitting the brim of her hat and also the top. All right, and then I'll do her hair like normal and do some, you know, there'll be some highlights on it and things like that. I'm going to use to mix to get this nice brown shade. Let's try. I'm going to try a little bit of red and a little bit of the green because then it starts to make a brown. But it's almost like it needs a little bit of a, like an orangey yellow, a little bit. Like how does that, that is a pretty nice brown. some like glitter glue, diamond glitter glue. So I'm going to pick up the glitter glue. And let's see, where do we want the glitter? I think we want it on her hat. And I'm doing it this way because I don't want like a huge amount of glitter. Like if I was to put this glitter glue directly on her, it would be really thick. So if you want just like a little bit of a glisten, this is the best way to do it. All right. Oh, she's looking angry. She could put a spell on you. All right, I'm cleaning off the brush the best that I can, but it might be just sacrifice to the crafting gods. I think one of the only times I've ever seen a somewhat similar expression on the real Dana Joy was when I had just landed in Florida, where she's from, where she lives actually. And she was supposed to be coming to the airport to pick me and Jennifer McGuire up. And that morning, she tested positive for COVID. And she was so angry, so angry and sad. And yeah, understandably so. That was so hard. So Jennifer and I made our way to where we were meeting with some other friends on our own. And we just missed Dana the whole time. And it was really sad. But for the most part, Dana Joy is exactly like her last name, a joy. All right, so here we are. Here's our cute little image. She's all glittery. I'm going to grab a marker. I'm going to be using this Marvy La Plume. And you notice how it's got like that white edge right now? You just go around with a black marker and you sort of just paint the edges. But it really does help it look more finished, I think. Okay, so now you've got all those edges colored. Ta-da! There's that cute little Dana. Love her. So I'm going to let these dry overnight. Probably going to have to put them into a bedroom and close the... Oh, Yuli fall color, the Halloween colors. You're right. I missed those. Okay, here we go. Here is the Yuli Halloween 2023 set. It's going up for sale on October 1st. I will link to it on my Instagram, but look at these colors. Aren't those great? Let's swatch these. Okay, so we're going to swatch these watercolors from Yuli real quick. So I'm going to take... Oh, I need a permanent Sharpie, something. Here we go. And with her swatch things, I like to just black out 1/2 of each little swatch square so that I can see the color on a dark surface and a white surface. Mixed up so it's a nice thick consistency. I'm going to come in and paint it over the top. It's nice and opaque. And with these that have a glitter texture, you're not going to see the full shine of the glitter until it's completely dry. So we're going to swatch these and hopefully, I might have to hit it with a heat tool or something, but you'll see the full glitter effect once it's dry. This is my first time swatching these, so I'm excited about this. This red is so nice. This is Jack-o'-lantern. Okay, I'm looking at this. The glitter is like, there's some red, gold, maybe even a little bit of like an orange glitter. There's some different glitter colors in it. All 4 colors are glittery. Hocus Pocus, the kind of bluish purple. It looks like there might be like maybe like a teal glitter and a magenta or red glitter. They kind of look like they all have the same type of glitter. Let's look at this up close. You can really see that like right on the pans of paint themselves. kind of see that. Oh, you can see the black moving around. It's pretty. Okay, I think that did it. Yeah, that did it. All right, so here are the colors dry. You can see they've got a little bit of that glitter. I've got no glitter on my fingers. Let's give it a little transfer test. Just a little tiny bit of glitter right there. It's on the same spot. I think that's the same glitter particle. For the most part, the glitter doesn't transfer. I would say maybe a tiny, tiny bit. Not enough that I would like use a fixative or anything on it. So cool. That would make a really fun like background for a Halloween card or something. That Hocus Pocus would look great in Dana's hair. You are correct. Should we paint it? We'll just give it a little... Oh, I think it would cover up a lot of the shading though, sadly. Because it's so opaque, you know? But it does look pretty great. It's a much more cool-toned blue-purple shade. But it looks pretty great. I love that. Here, let's see what it looks like with a little bit of that shimmer. It's not dry yet, but you can kind of see the shimmer. Love it. Thanks so much for joining me today. Color on my nails is Sequoia from Dazzle Dry. It's linked down below in the video description if you want to click over. Thanks so much for joining me. These paints are available over at, I think it's artistrybyaltenew.com. Or maybe it's just artistry.altenew. Anyway, there's links down below. You can go over there and check them out. I also have links to the brushes that I used for the swatching. And I'll add anything else I've used after the fact. Thanks so much for joining me today. I will see you guys in another video very soon.